More disappointing news, Michael, in the industry as Deck 9 Games announces more layoffs to the end of the year. David Caracasoli over at PSU, good friend of ours. Deck 9 Games has announced more layoffs to the end of the year after starting with laying off 20% of his staff at the beginning of 2024. Statement from the studio was published on its official Twitter account, where it simply announced the news without disclosing how many of his staff would be let go. Quote, "Today, we are sad to share the news that we must say goodbye to some of our talented team members," end quote. The statement from the studio chief executive officer, Mark Lyons, read, quote, "This was an extremely difficult decision and reflects the challenging times many companies in our industry are currently facing. We are extremely grateful to every individual who has dedicated their hard work, passion, and commitment to making transformative entertainment with us," end quote. Quote continues, "To those of you leaving the studio due to these changes, thank you for sharing your talents with us. We are proud of what we were able to accomplish together, and we are committed to supporting you in this transition in any way we can," end quote. One more quote, Michael, we're not done yet. "To the community, we ask for your support and understanding during this difficult time," end quote. Of course, it's always unfortunate to see layoffs happen, especially after Deck 9 had just released its latest Life is Strange game, Double Exposure. Dude, which I loved. Scott and I thought it was a great game. So I wonder if it's the genre that they're picking that just isn't gravitating with the audience anymore, and they're just not hitting where it needs to hit.
Yeah, one of those games, not something I checked out, but as you said, you loved it, so you would think maybe it is the genre, right? I mean, it is kind of one of those where at least if you're Deck 9, you do kind of have to look internally, right? As you said, you started the year laying off 20% of your staff. Now you're going to end the year laying off a certain number of your staff, right? Clearly something isn't working for Deck 9. Hate to see layoffs. Hopefully everybody affected, especially around this time of the year, able to find something very quickly. Never something you want to deal with at the end of the year during the holiday season. But yeah, I think for Deck 9, they've got to look and say, what's wrong, right? Like, even though our games seem to be doing well, 2 layoffs in 1 year is never where you want to go, right? So it's either the genre, it's either the game themselves. There's something that just isn't quite going right for them. Hopefully they're able to turn that around, figure out what it is, and they don't have to do any more layoffs. They can keep making great games. As you said, they make great games, but something's missing, Drew.
I wonder, again, right? It's that walking sim genre-ish kind of feel. So is it just not hitting with other people where it needed to be? Used to back in the day, dude, when Telltale Games were up to their stuff, they had The Walking Dead, which then just caught on fire. And then quickly after that, you saw Life is Strange come out from Don't Nod, which now has gone over to Deck 9. So like we've seen this move over from one company to another company, but it's just not hitting, I think, that genre as a whole where it once was, because it was so new back then when Telltale came out and they introduced The Walking Dead, right? And all of a sudden, people know The Walking Dead, where people do know now where we are with Life is Strange, and they even had callbacks to the first game, dude. Like it was such a cool story, but again, it's that slower pace mentality where right now everything's so fast, action oriented, that people just aren't gravitating towards what's there.